Hey everyone, it's Jason back with the, I think this is the fourth video in the series of videos on the facilities on my layout. This facility is the Reliance Propane Services facility. They sell propane, kerosene, fuel oil, wood pellets, any kind of petroleum or fuel heating products. This is the Walthers propane distributor kit. It's largely unmodified. I haven't done a whole lot to it. In fact, I need to do a whole lot more to it. It doesn't quite live up to my expectations at this point. This is the back side of the building that we're looking at here. The sign I made, we get the same thing here as you've seen in the past with the mini blinds in the windows. One thing I will note is that these windows were very deep. Like when I got them and I glued them in originally, the plastic just set back so far. So I had to take the windowsill out and run it over a file quite a bit to thin out the window frames to make them look even a little bit realistic. But that's what I've done. I'm fairly happy with it. So let's take a look at a couple more angles. So from this angle you can see the back door. It's a picture. You can see that there's some graffiti on it. It's about the only graffiti on the entire layout, although I might change that up and add a little bit. The other thing you can see is right here. This original kit came with a footing and it had like a little back porch on it with a little overhang. I didn't really care for it, so I didn't use it. In fact, I cut out a new footprint for the building. There's a poured concrete driveway on the other side, and I wanted it to be all in one piece, so I didn't put the little step here that had. That's the back side. So here's the front side of the building. Again, signs are pictures I found either on the internet or took, printed out on gloss paper, peeled off the paper so that it's as thin as possible and glued it on here. This entire garage door is a photo, and then you can see I used photos in these windows here. That's actually a photo of a liquor store, but it worked out okay. And that one is actually a propane dealership that actually says Blue Flame Propane and Propane Products, so that worked out good. I mentioned on the other side that there was a footprint that came with this building and I didn't like it, so I made my own. And part of the reason is I wanted this continuous concrete pour for the driveway, if you will, that kind of feeds off of this this loading dock here. And I also cut out a little stoop here, so I'm going to try to get a better angle. So here you can get a little better view of the concrete pad for the driveway and the stoop outside the door. And you can actually see the weathering a little bit as well. I put a little bit of weathering on it. It's not severely or heavily weathered, just enough. Alright, and here's a picture of the side of the building that would be facing the street and the sign. So the sign I actually made in, it wasn't Photoshop, it's one of those photo editing software, some free download, I don't remember what it was. Reliance is actually Reliance Propane Services, that is actually a real company that actually exists up in the footprint that this model railroad would service if it was real. The lines on the bottom, the propane, kerosene, fuel oil, and all that, I added in along with the phone numbers for McLeod and Shasta. I believe that they are in Shasta, so I faked a McLeod location. Another thing to note about this particular facility is it is actually right on the edge of the platform. It's the only one that I've done on the edge. But here's an overview. It's got a gravel parking lot, similar to what you've seen elsewhere. Some of the K-rails to protect the tanks, fuel oil tank, a couple cars over there, and of course the propane tank. I want to point out in the back, so that the real trees here, and then the trees that are just painted on the backdrop, which worked out pretty well. In fact, pretty much all of the scenes where there's trees up against the backdrop, I painted forest in there. Now down here you can actually see there's some blue sky. When there's actually trees up against the wall, like I'm going to show you over here, I painted the low levels almost black so that you can't see any sky, just to be sure. But anyway, back to these tanks. So there is no piping or plumbing or anything in place right now. It's not really what I would consider done. The pump house is just sitting there. It's not glued in. It doesn't have anything really attached to it. I intend to run some pipes and some hoses and things of that nature to give it a little bit more realism. And I'm also looking to print my own decals to put, a Reliance sign on the side of the propane tank, and then I'll weather it. The other thing that I'm really not satisfied with this particular facility is that all of the track on this side of the layout comes out of the tunnel, and then you can see it goes across the bridge. Everything on this side of the bridge is on cork roadbed. Everything on the far side of the bridge down there is just glued directly to the foam core boards. Unfortunately, that kind of creates the scenario where I've got this, high grade ballasted siding, which I don't like. So at some point it's likely I'll rip out that siding, put in some code 55 or code 70, something smaller, run it down onto the ground, put in some chain link fence. I want to get some more detailed parts, like I was thinking this one wouldn't do it, but like a telephone pole or something laying on the ground there as a parking barrier is something I was thinking. Definitely more propane tanks, get some rusted up ones, a couple different brands of them, things like that. Another thing I have that I haven't decided where to put is I have one of the BLMA cell phone towers. I was thinking about putting one in the back lot back here, with the chain link fence around it, cell tower sticking up, I don't know, maybe somewhere around here, to give it a little bit more detail. But I haven't done any of that yet, and I'm not sure when I will. But anyway, that's the facility. Leave me any questions, comments, thoughts. Always interested in your feedback. And once again, thanks for watching.